Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Tarot back at you again with another video. I would like to thank each and every one of you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and donating to my channel. I really do appreciate all the love and all the support. And thank you for those of you who've been booking readings with me. Just truly appreciate it, okay? So guys, your girl's Patreon channel is up and running. So if you would like to support your girl, you'll be able to find a link in the description box below. I do post 2 exclusive videos per week, so go check it out if you feel called to. Now, before we dive in, if you've been loving the energy here, I have created a collection of spiritual ebooks and printable workbooks to help you along your journey. From manifestation rituals to love journal prompts, these tools are designed to help you align, heal, and rise. You'll be able to find the link in the description box below or on my Patreon channel under the shop tab. So as you guys can tell by the title of this video, this is going to be about how you're being perceived right now. So pile number 1, you're going to be the tiger's eyes crystal. Pile number 2, you're going to be the rose quartz crystal. And pile number 3, you're going to be the lazurite crystal. So again, pile number 1, tiger's eyes crystal. Pile number 2, rose quartz crystal. And pile number 3, lazurite crystal. So pause this video if you must and meditate on the card or the crystal that you feel most drawn to. You'll be able to find your timestamps in the description box below, and I'll see you guys at your pile. Hi Pawan! Welcome to my channel. This is Tarot back at you again with another video. So my pal number 1, you picked the tiger's eyes crystal, and this is going to be your reading, okay? So, my pal number 1, how are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived, my pal number 1? How are you being perceived right now? We have the 2 of Pentacles. You're being perceived as someone who is multi-talented, someone who has the ability to juggle multiple responsibilities at once without dropping the ball, okay? I'm getting like meticulous as well. How are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived? Ooh, we have Cancer energy. And if you are a Cancer and it's your birthday today, happy birthday, okay? So with the Chariot, you're being perceived as somebody who is strong-willed, determined, organized, okay, driven, focused. How are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived? We have the Temperance card, Sagittarius energy. The way that you're being perceived as somebody who is versatile, someone who is agile, adaptable, who has a lot of wisdom, okay? Someone who has amazing abilities to transform things into something better. So like an alchemist. How are you being perceived? We have the King of Swords, okay? You're definitely being perceived as someone who is highly educated, okay? Someone who is extremely articulate with the King of Swords, someone who is methodical, someone who's hard to manipulate. We have the 9 of Pentacles. So you're being perceived as someone who has it all, someone who is self-made, someone who has a lot of resources, someone who lives a life of luxury. the eligible bachelor or bachelorette. So you have a lot of eyes on you, a lot of suitors, okay? A lot of possible suitors that want to date you. So how are you being perceived right now? Ooh, we have the Ace of Cups. You are being perceived as someone who operates with in high integrity, but not just that, like someone who has amazing self-love. You know your worth, you know your value. That's how you're being perceived with the Ace of Cups. How you're being perceived, we have the Four of Cups. You're being perceived as someone who is emotionally detached from people's shenanigans or people's nonsense. Like you don't engage in things that are not in alignment with you. You mind your own business. You are definitely sovereign here. That's how you're being perceived. How you're being perceived, we have the Ace of Swords. Wow, you're being perceived as someone who is truthful, someone who is like something about your communication skills. Okay, you speak clarity, like you speak truth into others, you speak with conviction and clarity. With the Ace of Swords, you are someone who is like, I'm getting like methodical. I keep getting like methodical. Something about your methods and your capabilities is obvious to a lot of people, is felt through like a lot of people with the Ace of Swords. But what I'm also getting from the perception that people have of you, they perceive you as someone who is mentally sharp, mentally agile. Okay, somebody who is a great communicator, but also someone who may speak multiple languages. You're also hard to read. Okay, that's what I'm getting here. That's how you're being perceived right now. How you're being perceived. Ooh, Six of Cups. Like a kindred spirit. Some people feel drawn to your energy. They naturally gravitate towards you because they feel like a sense of familiarity with you with the Six of Cups. You're also being perceived as someone who is really good with children or really good with animal, or like there is a very peaceful, loving energy that you emanate that people gravitate towards and feel instantly when they are in close proximity to you. So how you're being perceived, we have the Magician. So Gemini, Virgo energy. Yeah, you're being perceived as someone who is extremely um capable. You're also being perceived as someone who has a lot of skill sets and talent that you're definitely utilizing, because the Magician is also an alchemist too. Okay, just like the Temperance card, it's like an alchemist because he has a lot of resources, a lot of capabilities that he's utilizing at once and creating something out of nothing, and he's extremely resourceful. So you're definitely being perceived as someone who is the plug or has a lot of resources or well connected. That's how you're being perceived. So people within your organization, people within your community may perceive you as someone who is the go-to. You are the connector. So you're the person that people go to if they need advice, they need support, they need some sort of reference or knowledge check. Like, it's you. Okay, you're that person, you're that guy, you're that girl. So how are you being perceived? We have the Four of Swords. So we have 4 4. Maybe you see number 44 often. Maybe this is your number. Maybe you're 44 years old, or maybe you're born at like 11:44 or 12:44, like the 44th minute or something like that. But like, you're definitely being perceived as someone who lives a life of leisure. Okay, because look at that. The lady there on the illustration, she's at the spa. She's getting a facial, like, relaxing. Facials, if you get facials, this is relaxing. Sometimes you fall asleep when you're getting a facial. So yeah, I'm gonna like, you're being perceived as someone who lives a life of leisure. Okay. So how are you being perceived right now? Ooh, we have the Hermit, Virgo energy. Again, detective, discerning, private. Like, you're definitely private here because Virgos are like very private individuals. So it's giving like, yeah, like you keep people at arm's length, or you're very not secretive. I'm not getting like you're secretive. You're more private than anything else. Okay. um and you're wise beyond your years. You're very cautious, prudent. Okay, you're definitely being perceived as somebody who's extremely prudent. you're very selective with what you share with others. So how are you being perceived? We have the Page of Swords as someone who's extremely observant, wise beyond your years. You're extremely observant, okay? Like you see things, you notice patterns that most people miss with the Page of Swords. Inquisitive. You ask a lot of questions, very important questions, valuable questions, I heard. How are you being perceived? How are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived? How are you being perceived? Just one card, please, Spirit. How are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived? Ooh, Five of Swords. Ooh. Mm. This is like winning at all cost, or there's ego clashing. There's someone who may perceive you, a specific person may perceive you as a threat, or they may perceive you, yeah, like I'm just giving threat. They perceive you as a threat because you may have challenged this person's ego in some way, shape, or form, and now they feel threatened by you with the Five of Swords. Okay, maybe you've came up against this person and normally nobody does. Like people may um not necessarily fall for this person's BS, but it's more like people do not like to challenge this person because they could be a little bit volatile, and you may have challenged this person and you maybe have put them in their place, and they're like, they're not really liking that. They don't really like the fact that you did that. Okay. How are you being perceived? Ooh, Six of Wands. Victorious, successful, public acclamation. Okay, you're definitely being perceived as someone who is successful, well known, well liked within your community, well respected. But there's also this person with the Five of Swords that is angry with you or feeling some type of way about the interaction that they had with you. They may perceive you as somebody who's a show off, who gets a lot of attention. Ooh, Four of Pentacles. You're definitely being perceived as somebody who's closed off. There could be somebody who's pocket watching you, and you could be perceived as somebody who is a penny pincher or very possessive of your resources, which honestly, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, like your resources are yours to manage. Like if you don't want to give your resources to someone, you're not obligated. Like what the heck? Like, whoa, what? You're like, honestly, pile number one, if somebody feels like you are stingy with your money, stingy with your time, or like they may perceive you as greedy because you don't want to share, and it's like you don't have to share, okay? Like you're not obliged to do that. So how are you being perceived right now? We have the Two of Pentacles again. Yeah, someone who has a lot going on, somebody who is probably busy juggling multiple um priorities at once. Maybe you are someone who has a very demanding job, okay, but you know how to navigate, and you do so gracefully. So how are you being perceived? We have the Three of Wands as a visionary, as a go-getter. That's how you're being perceived right now. Like you are definitely somebody that people see as a pioneer. It's giving that vibe. That's how you're being perceived, as a pioneer. You're a trailblazer. Okay. So how are you being perceived? We have the Three of Swords. Ooh, this is heartbreaker energy. Rejection. Somebody feels rejected by you. Like some people may perceive you as harsh, or like your standards are too high, which feels like they can't access you the way that they feel like they should or deserve to access you. It's like they feel entitled to your energy, and you're like, with the Four of Pentacles, it's like, no, you have to earn like your stripes. Okay, so you maybe 444 is like a number that you see often, because we have the Four of Pentacles, Four of Swords, and Four of Cups, so that could be your number two. So how are you being perceived? Ooh, we have the Two of Cups. Ideal lover or collaborative. Like when people work with you, you are a great person to work with, to collaborate with. Is very pleasant to work with you or to collaborate with you with the Two of Cups. You are in alignment with the people that you collaborate with. So how are you being perceived? Ooh, okay. Just one card, please, Spirit. How are you being perceived? Ooh, the Chariot again. Yeah, structured, disciplined, strong-willed, determined, driven. Like, you have that drive, you're focused. That's how you're being perceived right now. Like, some people may feel like you're too focused, or you're too power hungry or money hungry, or like, you care too much about your stability, which is like, what else are you supposed to care about? Like, other people? Like, what's yo, this is like, people that act like money is not important are people that don't have any. Because when you have money, honestly, they say money does not solve your problems, or is not the root of, not solve your problems, it's not the root of happiness. But trust me, when you have money, like, it solves like 99% of your problems. Okay, and it does bring happiness, because trust me, if you can't eat today, you're not gonna be happy. Okay, so what? Yes, money brings happiness. So because it's a part of life, it's a resource that we need. We need them. So how are you being perceived right now? So it's when people don't have money that they're more likely to commit crimes. I'm not saying that people that have money don't commit crimes, but when you are poor, you're less likely to think about morals. You want to get that money to eat. Okay? So, how are you being perceived right now? Ooh, Eight of Cups. Emotionally detached, unbothered, focused. Yeah, your mind is on your money. So I feel like people are just mad at you for focusing on your money and like prioritizing yourself and putting yourself first. Like, you have people that are trying to make you feel bad for, like I said, like, loving money or wanting to have money or being stable. Because if you are a Cancer, like, financial stability is not just a need. It's not just a need for you. It's like what makes you secure. Like, if you don't have no money and you can't pay for your family, you can't take care of your family, you're not gonna feel secure. Like, you're gonna feel like, your life is crumbling, and it's gonna mess up with your emotions. Okay, so it's like, it's a top priority for you to be able to provide, to take care of your family. Or maybe you have Cancer in the second house or something. So how are you being perceived? We have Judgment. Okay, so you're definitely being perceived as somebody who is extremely discerning. Okay, or somebody who has strong opinions. So how are you being perceived? We have the Nine of Wands, the Wounded Warrior, somebody who's gone through so many hardships. So yeah, maybe you've gone through a lot of hardships with the Knight of Wands, and you actually know that because of what you've experienced, what is required of you, what do you need in order to have a comfortable life. Okay, but you're definitely being perceived as somebody who's gone through the trenches. So how are you being perceived? We have Justice, a Libra energy. So we have two cardinal signs. You're being perceived as somebody who is just, somebody who's fair, somebody who operates in integrity. Okay, I'm getting like diplomatic too. That's how you're being perceived right now. So that's all I have for you, my pal number one. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you in my next video, pal number one. Bye. Hi, pal two. Welcome to my channel. This is Stella Beauty Tarot back at you again with another video. So, my pal number two, you picked the Rose Quartz Crystal. And this is going to be your reading, okay? So, my pal number two, how are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived right now? Let's see. Ooh. I don't know why I heard the song, Don't Need to Ask, He's a Smooth Operator. Usually I get this with the Knight of Cups, but the Knight of Wands is a player. I don't want to be a player no more. I'm not a player. I just, crush a lot. That's the clean version. Okay. So You're definitely being perceived as the life of the party, Mr. or Mrs. Still Your Girl, or man with the Knight of Wands, a flirt. Ugh, I think that's R. Kelly's song, I'm a Flirt. Yeah, like you're definitely being perceived as that guy or that girl. Like people don't want you around their men, huh? With the Knight of Wands. You're too flirtatious. I feel like you're not flirtatious. I feel like you're just somebody who's enthusiastic, passionate, driven. So when you speak, people that may have not necessarily low self-esteem, that people that don't really get attention like that may perceive you as like showing interest, when in actuality that's just you being passionate. How are you being perceived? How are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived? Just one card, please, Spirit. How are you being perceived? We have the Knight of Cups, you see? Mm-mm. Vanessa, my pal number two. Who are you finessing? Like, what is going on? Okay, like what? Ooh. Mm-hmm. The Vanessa. We have the Hangman. The way that you're being perceived right now is, yeah, with the Knight of Cups and the Hangman, you're being perceived as someone who is romantic, alluring, sympathetic, but also flirtatious. Okay, drawing it. Hypnotizing as well, like mesmerizing. Like there's something about you that people are just drawn to. So you may have people around you that do not like to invite you out, especially if it's like you're single. Like if you are in a relationship, it's like they're okay with it. But if you're single, it's like you're the last person on the list. Not because there's something wrong with you, but because like you're very attractive, you have a light to you, people take to you, and it's just like they don't like the attention that you're getting. With the Hangman, you're being perceived as someone who goes with the flow of life, somebody who is adaptable, somebody who's not rigid. So how are you being perceived? We have the Page of Cups. Yeah, like imaginative, inviting, alluring. Like there is this softness, this dreamy energy about you. Maybe you're Pisces, but there's like this dreamy, soft energy about you that people just take to you. They're drawn to you. Okay, you have people eating at the palm of your hands. So how are you being perceived? We have the Two of Wands. You're definitely being perceived as somebody who, yeah, goes with the flow of life, and also somebody who walks to the beat of your own drum. Like you pave your own way with the Two of Wands. Like you make your own choices. You're not easily influenced by other people. Even though people are drawn to you or try to influence you, you are someone who stay true to yourself with the Two of Wands. So how are you being perceived? Ooh, heartbreaker. My pal number two, playa. Whose heart did you break, my pal number two? What are you doing in these streets? Like, bad girl, bad boy. Okay, that's how you're being perceived. Like, you're okay. So, people are afraid of asking you out, or I know you guys heard that. I know you guys heard that. Yeah, people are afraid to ask you out or to date you because they're afraid of being rejected or afraid of being heartbroken, because you definitely come off as a player because you get a lot of attention. So how are you being perceived? We have the Strength card. Okay, so you're definitely being perceived as someone who is a sovereign individual. Like I said, you're not easily influenced. Okay, people cannot really influence you like that. Like once you make up your mind, especially if you're a Leo, it's like, nah, you're not going to change your mind. Like you stick to your guns. Okay, yeah, like you're influential for sure. Like you shift the energy of the room. So how are you being perceived? Ooh, we have the Star. Original, authentic. That's how you're being perceived. Like you have this allure to you that people just are gravitate towards. Yeah, we have the King of Cups. So how you're being perceived right now is like you're emotionally sovereign, emotionally intelligent, authentic. Your originality is something that is striking. Okay, like people pick up on your originality. Like there's no one like you. There's this uniqueness is that you exude that people just automatically perceive. How are you being perceived right now? We have the Chariot, Cancer energy again. That's the second time Cancer comes out. It came out for pile number 1 as well. So you're being perceived as somebody who is driven, somebody who is focused, somebody who has drive, okay, like purpose. That's how you're being perceived, somebody who has purpose, because we also have the 2 of Wands. So this tells me that when you walk into the streets or when you step outside of your home, there is a reason. Like, you prefer to stay home. Maybe you have a very nice home, the way that it's laid out, like you're comfortable in your environment, so you don't really need to go outside. So when you do go outside, it's because you have to accomplish something. So when you walk, there is like a pep in your step, but it not only there's a pep, you are also someone who has a mission. Like, you're always on a mission. That's how your people are perceiving you. So how you're being perceived, ooh, double Cancer energy, mysterious, mystical, inner. You have this inner knowing. Like, people could tell that you know more than you let on with the High Priestess. So how are you being perceived? As competition. I don't know why I'm just hearing that Vibes Cartel song, Real Badman. Guys, I'm like snitching on my playlist. Oh my god, I'm telling on myself. But I just heard that song where he says, "Go butt up your mother." Oh my god, Vibes Cartel is something else, guys. And he's a cardinal sign. He's a Capricorn. But like, you're definitely seen as um competition. Okay. So how are you being perceived? Ooh, we have the Magician. Yeah, well versed. Like, but you're not just well versed in one field. Like, you're multi-talented, you're multifaceted. Okay, with the Magician energy, you're definitely the competition. I'm telling you, this is why people don't like to invite you out. I'm telling you, with the 5 of Wands, like, people see you and they like, ugh. They could sense that you have something that they may not have. So people, I feel like, you, pile number 2, people may like to like get close to you to study you. And I feel like you have a way of deterring people away from you. So let's say somebody is trying to study you, you act like you don't have the skill sets or the talent. Like, you hide yourself with the High Priestess. You cloak yourself so you don't show them everything that you could do, so that way they could like leave you alone. So how are you being perceived? We have the Page of Cups. Yeah, like, very imaginative, or some people may see you as an easy target. They may perceive you as an easy target because you come off as like soft, loving, and nurturing. But then once they try to get in or try to prey on you, 3 of Swords, they get rejected. I'm telling you, you're definitely being perceived as a player or a heartbreaker. Yeah, 3 of Swords is here twice for you. So how are you being perceived? So how are you being perceived? Ooh, 6 of Wands. Notoriety, successful, public recognition. Like, yeah, I feel like you're being perceived as somebody who gets a lot of respect, or somebody who is well known or well connected within your industry or within your community, well respected, successful. So how are you being perceived? How are you being perceived right now? We have the Page of Pentacles. You're being perceived as somebody who's practical, somebody who's dedicated, somebody who is meticulous, like, you're dedicated to growth, you're dedicated to your finances, you're dedicated to your success. So how are you being perceived right now? What do we have? Ooh, the 2 of Cups. Ideal lover or alignment. You're being perceived as someone who would be a great lover, but you have high standards with the 6 of Wands. It's not easy to get with you. That's why people see you as a heartbreaker, because they feel like they may not be able to meet your standards, or they're not on your level. So they don't even bother. But they see you, they put you on a pedestal. People put you on a pedestal for sure. How are you being perceived? Ooh, 7 of Pentacles. You're being perceived as someone who is dedicated, invested, someone who is meticulous, someone who is prudent as well. Okay, you know the value of your investment, you know your worth. That's how you're being perceived. So that's why some people, they feel like they can't really step to you like that, because they know you know your value, and you're not going to go for that because they know that they don't meet your standards. They know that you have high standards, and that not only do you have high standards, you meet those standards. It's not like you have high standards but then you are like sloppy, or you're not even half of what you require in another person. You are who you are looking for as well. Like, you're looking for your mirror, and you have high value here. Because if you look, she's pregnant. She has the seven pentacles on her dress here, and then she has um an apple tree. And then, like, a tree is like, apples, it's like just the fruit itself is expensive. Okay, apples are expensive, all right? Like, it's not some cheap fruit that you could just buy like that. Even just one apple, it could cost you like $1 or two, depending on the brand, right? And depending on the type of apple and where you go shopping. So, like, apples are like fruitful. They represent abundance. Okay, so you have a whole tree. That means you are abundant. Okay, so they know that. That's how you're being perceived. So how are you being perceived right now? Ooh, as somebody who is mysterious, alluring, hard to read. You're hard to read, hard to pin down. Didn't I say Pisces? How are you being perceived right now? Sorry, guys. How are you being perceived right now? Some cards fell on the floor and I was having a hard time picking them up. I can't even speak. So how are you being perceived? Ooh, valuable. 10 of Pentacles. Okay? Valuable. You're being perceived as somebody who brings a lot of resources, somebody who's resourceful, somebody who is competent, somebody who's building a legacy for themselves. Yeah, like high value. That's how you're being perceived. That's why some people, they don't want to step to you, because they know they don't match your level. Or like, the other reason why some people don't like to invite you out is because of the fact that with the Knight of Wands and a Ten of Pentacles, they feel like with the Five of Wands as well, you're competition. You bring more than they have to offer to their partner. So that's why they don't want you around, because they're afraid that their partner might leave them for you. But the thing is, you're not the type of person that's going to want to date someone who left someone else for you. Because it's like, that means that somebody, that type of person has the grass is greener on the other side syndrome. They will always leave for someone else that they feel is shining brighter, or like the grass is greener. Like, they're always going to do that. It's a pattern. We have the Seven of Swords. Ooh, you're definitely being perceived as somebody who moves in silence, somebody who's strategic. You're a 10 step ahead. So how are you being perceived? Ooh, the Empress. Ooh, Libra and Taurus. Ooh, beautiful, abundant, creative, luxurious. That's how you're being perceived. Exotic. Ooh, that's why people don't want you around. They don't want you to steal their girl or their man, okay? How are you being perceived right now? We have the Knight of Cups again. Smooth operator. Sweet, loving. Like, you have people eating at the palm of your hands. They feel like you're being perceived as somebody who has it all, has an easy life, or things fall naturally in your lap. You don't have to try too hard. You can manifest things into existence with ease. How are you being perceived? The ideal lover. I'm telling you, the lovers is here. Gemini energy again. We have Gemini twice, Cancer twice. So you could be a Cancer Gemini cusper, Cancer Taurus cusper, or no, what the heck? Cancer, wow. Taurus Gemini cusper, or a Libra Virgo cusper. Holy moly, I can't even speak. Okay, that's how you're being perceived right now. Okay, no, you don't have the star. I thought you had the star, but yeah, you're definitely being put on the pedestal, my pal, number two. That's why some people don't really, not that they don't like you, they're just jealous and envious of your light, your power, your essence. Like, you have pretty privilege for sure, my pal number two. Whether you know it or not, you have pretty privilege. And pretty privilege beauty is a currency. You have that currency. That's why some people feel like you live a life of luxury and abundance, like things come to you naturally or easily, like you don't have to try too hard. Okay? So that's all I have for you, my pal number two. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you in my next video, pal number two. Bye. Hi, Pal 3. Welcome to my channel. This is Talbidi Tarot Pikachu again with another video. So, my pal number 3, you picked the Lazarite crystal, and this is going to be your reading, okay? So, my pal number 3, how are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived right now, my pal number 3? How are you being perceived right now? Ooh, King of Pentacles. You're being perceived as someone who is self-made, someone who is in the position of power, somebody who has resources. Okay, I heard big daddy like energy, big daddy energy, big D energy. Oh gosh, whether you're a woman or a man, okay, you have that big energy, big energy, all right? Like you run things, okay? Bounce energy, okay? Emperor energy. So how are you being perceived? Ooh, 5 of Swords. Ooh, as a threat. Okay, so it could be like in the workplace that you're being perceived as a threat because like the way that you work, your work ethics, your dedication, like everything about you is a threat to someone or a group of people with the 5 of Swords. You've bruised somebody's ego with your success. Like you haven't done anything wrong, but just your success is making somebody feel some type of way. How are you being perceived? Ooh, 3 of Cups. You see how like from one card to the other the perception switched dramatically, like that this is like one extreme to the other. You're being perceived as someone who is, the life of the party, someone who is fun to be around, collaborative, you work well with others. Okay, so how are you being perceived? We have the Fool, somebody who walks to the beat of your own drum. So I feel like your success is due to the fact that you did not follow the traditional path. You took your own path. You did something on your own terms and it brought success with the King of Pentacles. It could also be family members that may perceive you as someone who is maybe power hungry or money hungry, like kind of like devil energy, where you might be like focused or obsessed with success, which there's nothing wrong with being obsessed with success, to be honest. But these people may perceive it as in a negative connotation or a negative light because they don't feel like they could measure up to that type of success. They don't feel like they can measure up to that type of like level of glow up. Okay, so how are you being perceived? We have, okay, how are you being perceived? Ooh, 10 of Swords. And you see, if you look at the background, I don't know if you guys could see it, but the background for the 10 of Swords is an office. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's an office actually. So there's people in the workplace that are threatened by your work ethics or your success. Wow. There's like abrupt ending or strict ending. Ooh, there's like backstabbing energy. I don't like that. I feel like there's someone around you, my pal number 3, that has a negative perception of you, really negative, with the 10 of Swords. Okay, so how are you being perceived? We have the 3 of Pentacles. I'm telling you, it's in the workplace or people that you collaborate with, people that you work with, because you do have people in the workplace that enjoy your company, enjoy working with you. They see you as extremely collaborative. They see you as somebody who is dedicated. However, with the five of swords and the 10 of swords, you have a specific person that sees you in a negative light because they're jealous of your work ethics, they're jealous of your competence, they're jealous of your drive, your endurance. Like, you're someone who may have like really strong earth placements, or like your earth signs are in earth houses. So you may have like Taurus in your second house, like, maybe your Aries rising, so all the signs fall within their houses. Like, if your Aries rising, all your signs are in their house, respective houses. So that's what I'm getting, something like that for you. And this person, this specific individual, may see you as someone who has it all, or someone who's too stable. This person is trying to backstab you. I don't really like that with the 10 of swords, okay? But you're being perceived as somebody who is dedicated, hardworking, extremely a great collaborator, a great addition to the team. We have the page of swords. You're being perceived as someone who is extremely sharp. Like, nothing gets past you with the page of swords. You see everything, you clock everything, okay? You have a sharp eye, okay? So how are you being perceived right now? We have justice. You could be a Libra in here. You're being perceived as somebody who operates in integrity, somebody who operates in righteous, like you're righteous, okay? And it's not like you are self-righteous. You actually are like righteous. Like, you're somebody who operates within your moral codes. Like, and your moral codes are impeccable with the justice. Like, you're fair in your dealings, you're just, you're diplomatic as well. Like, you work, that's why you work well with other people. So how are you being perceived? We have the 2 of Wands, okay? You're being perceived as someone with the 2 of Wands who is a pioneer, somebody who's a visionary, someone who walks to the beat of their own drums with the Fool card, that takes, like, you follow your own path, okay? You don't look like, you're not being perceived as like a follower or someone who just goes along to get along. No, you pave your own way. So how are you being perceived right now? Oh, yeah, as someone who's very stable with the 4 of Wands, someone who has a lot of success going, like a lot of things going on for yourself, but a lot of stability because we have a home in the background. We have 2 friends. So this like a friendly, amicable energy that you exude that has somebody rubbed the wrong way. You have somebody who's in the 5 of Swords because their perception, like, they see you as a threat to their image, their threat to their success, because you represent exactly what they claim to be with the King of Wands. Sorry, the King of Pentacles. You're the King of Pentacles. You're grounded. You're competent. You have a lot of experience, expertise. While this person may have the title, but not really the expertise. Okay. So how are you being perceived? Ooh, Sun card, successful, abundant, okay, powerful, confident. That's how you're being perceived right now. But you're also being perceived as somebody who takes a lot of space, somebody who gets a lot of attention. Yeah, the Sun card is like similar to the 6 of Wands, but it's more powerful, like more prominent than the 6 of Wands, right? So this is like the energy that you emanate. So you could be a Leo here. So how are you being perceived? Ooh, okay, just one card, please, Spirit. How are you being perceived? Ooh, 9 of Cups. Somebody who gets their wish fulfilled, who has like who lives life on their own terms. Somebody who has it all. That's how you're being perceived right now with the King of Pentacles. Like, your life is easy. You live a life of luxury. You live a life of leisure. You live life on your own terms. Okay, everything is happening for you the way that it's supposed to happen. With the 9 of Cups, you live, like, you have a lot of people that are envious of your lifestyle. You have the desired lifestyle. That's how you're being perceived right now. We have the Hermit, Virgo energy. So you could be a Virgo Libra cusper or Virgo Leo cusper. So your birthday could be coming up soon. So with the Virgo energy, with the Hermit card, you're being perceived as someone who is extremely observant, somebody who is prudent, okay? Like, even though you're very friendly, open, okay, open-minded, communicative, amicable, you still have like boundaries with the Hermit card, like, and you're very observant. Page of Swords as well as here, so you're extremely observant. You're sharp. You're sharp. You're sharp. Okay, like you are very detailed oriented. That's how you're being perceived. Okay, so ooh, we have the Hierophant, Taurus. Didn't I say Earth sign? Didn't I say Taurus earlier? Yeah, you're being perceived as a wise one, or like the best in your field. Like, I wouldn't say people are bowing down to you, but because in the illustration, the the person is being seen bowing in front of the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is like the Pope, right? So, and then if you see in French, it's le pape. Okay, that's the Pope. So el papa. That's in Spanish, but I don't know why that was funny. I'm so silly. But yeah, so with the Hierophant, I'm getting like, yeah, you're highly respected. You're being perceived as someone who is respected within your community, or someone who has some sort of authority within your community. That's how you're being perceived, like someone important, VIP. Okay, so how are you being perceived right now? Oh, Three of Pentacles. Like, there's something about your reputation. Your reputation definitely precedes you. You do have the reputation of being someone who is well versed or extremely competent. Quality. Okay, you have high quality. How are you being perceived? Ace of Swords. Clarity. You're being perceived as someone who operates in integrity, somebody who operates in truth and clarity, somebody who is a great conversationalist, somebody who is wise beyond your years as well, because we have two owls on the card. We have the Knight of Cups, charming, loving. The Knight of Cups came out for all three piles, so very charming and loving energy. You're easy to work with. So how are you being perceived right now? Ooh, Five of Cups. You're not necessarily being perceived as a letdown or heartbreak or anything of that sort, but there is an energy of disappointment. There's something disappointing about a situation with an individual that may perceive you as a missed opportunity, or like you're kind of like a reference point, a cautionary tale. Not you necessarily are the cautionary tale, but it's just like something about the underdog. Somebody may have underestimated you. So how are you being perceived right now? Oh, Four of Pentacles. You're being perceived as somebody who is guarded. Yeah, like with your boundaries. You're guarded with your resources, or very selective with your resources, possessive of your resources as well. So how are you being perceived? Oh, we have the Tower. Unpredictable. You're hard to read. Surprising, shocking. You're shocking somebody. Like their perception of you has changed tremendously. Like I said, this is somebody who may have underestimated you, and now with the Tower, they're having a powerful realization that they didn't really know you like that. Okay, so how are you being perceived? Yeah, King of Cups. Emotionally sovereign, emotionally intelligent. Okay, street smart and book smart. Like I feel like the way that you're navigating a social situation, like I feel like it's a social situation with the Five of Swords, because somebody's ego is bruised because they came at you in a social setting, and then you may have put this person so eloquently in their place that they didn't have a rebuttal. They couldn't talk back. They had to swallow their pride. So how are you being perceived? Oh, as an asset, a valuable asset with the Ace of Pentacles. That's how you're being perceived right now. This is why I feel like the Five of Cups is someone who may have neglected their friendship with you, their business partnership with you. They've neglected you. And now they're realizing that you were the real deal, like you were the asset, you were the person that they were supposed to invest in, and they chose not to. So how are you being perceived? We have the Page of Swords. Yeah, like observant, sharp, agile. So how are you being perceived? We have the Knight of Pentacles, somebody who is reliable, somebody who is dedicated, somebody who's meticulous, okay? So you gradually increased or you gradually improved your skill sets and your talent, and somebody may have underestimated the power that you possess. They underestimated your drive, your zest, your capabilities, and now they're kind of like salty that you no longer are as available as they wanted you to be. Maybe somebody passed you up for an opportunity. I really feel like it's in your workplace because we have the Ten of Swords. You were passed out for an opportunity, and maybe you went with the competition now, or you went to another department, and then the absence of you is being felt within that organization or within that circle or that group of people. And now the perception of you, the value that you bring has shifted completely. So how are you being perceived? Just one card, please. Ooh, we have the Queen of Wands. Bold, confident energy with the Queen of Wands. Capable. You are influential for sure. That's how you're being perceived right now. You have this power. You have this drive. You're magnetic. And this person underestimated what you were capable of doing because they may have thought that you were soft, okay? And they underestimated your softness for passivity. They thought that because you were soft, you're passive. But it's like, no, your softness was your superpower, okay? So that's all I have for you, my pal number 3. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you in my next video, pal number 3.